For more information on today's program, contact Erica Taylor Montgomery at threegirlsmedia.com. Now, back to Punch, Media and Marketing Made Easy, on the Bay Area's business leader, AM 1220 KDOW.
Thanks so much for tuning in to Punch, Media and Marketing Made Easy this morning on 1220 AM KDOW, the Wall Street Business Network. I'm your host, Erica Taylor Montgomery, and if you would like to get more great tips on public relations, social media, marketing, and so much more, I really encourage you to visit my blog at threegirlsmedia.com. We post blog articles 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, and there's literally an archive of thousands of posts. So I encourage you to use this wealth of free information there to your advantage. It is all perfect for business owners and entrepreneurs, and it's like a library of terrific business advice that you can find online at threegirlsmedia.com and simply click on the tab for the blog. So we're talking with Lee Schneider, who's our guest this half hour, all about how to promote your business online. So Lee, I think one of the mistakes that new business owners or entrepreneurs make when it comes to social media and promoting their business through that is that they really feel like they've got to be everywhere. You know, they've got to be on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Foursquare, every place. And I think that they end up trying to spread themselves too thin and not managing any of them well. So what's your suggestion for how business owners can narrow down a couple of social media channels to focus on for their online marketing?
Well, it's a kind of a complicated answer, but the solutions will be simple in the end. Everyone has to do that initial research we talked about in the last segment, which was you have to figure out what your competitors are doing and how the market approaches what you're doing. If you're a lawyer, you're probably not going to be posting pictures of your client on Pinterest. If you're appealing to very young people, you might actually do a texting campaign or something or Twitter might work. So first, know the market. Then you might have to experiment a little bit. It's usually free. Open up the accounts. I always encourage people to open the accounts, do the listings, do business listings, do free business listings, do social media, open a Twitter account, open a business Facebook page, put up your company on LinkedIn. The reason for that is just from a search engine perspective, it always helps to have those listings up there. They're what are called links to your site, sometimes called outbound links. And you get a bit of a web, you're using the web of the web. So once you do that and that, a consultant can help you or you can do it yourself, it takes, a couple hours. Once you do that, the real work begins, deciding what is going to be your biggest river. And it really tracks back to what you want. Like, for example, I'm really glad to hear you guys are blogging so much. Blogging remains one of the greatest ways to be found online. The reason is there's a lot of context in blogging and a lot of history. And what that means is you talked about a business archive. If someone wants to know about you, they can go to your series of blogs, and you just mentioned there's a lot of them, and they can really learn about what you guys are about. They can get some deep knowledge about how to be better at what they do. It's a great resource, right?
Absolutely.
But not everybody's a blogger, and not everybody's great at blogging. And one of the key things when you say, you're publishing 6 days a week, I say, wow, I wish everybody could do that because you have to be present. And this is the big decision point to really focus on your question. You have to be present with the kind of media you're putting out there. If you post a blog that says, I ate a chocolate cookie and I was really enjoying it, I loved it, it was a great chocolate cookie, and you never post another blog for a year, you're not doing your business much good. You need to be there. So I often ask people, what are you good at and what do you really like to do? If you're a writer, write. There's some terrific opportunities in blogging. If you're a talker, well, here's a podcast. Do a podcast. If you like pictures, do Pinterest, do Flickr. There's a million ways of doing pictures now, even better than before. And what people don't always know is you can tag that picture on Pinterest that pops right back to your website.
Absolutely.
So if you're making wedding dresses and you have a beautiful album of all your brides in their fabulous dresses on Pinterest, every time someone clicks on that picture of that dress, it goes back to, weddinggowns.com. which is your site, for example. So you have to lay breadcrumbs back to your site in various ways when you put out those kind of micromedia things like Pinterest pictures. But it's really about the answer is, what's the best form of social media for me? It's what do you like to do, and what are you willing to do a lot of?
Sure. And where is your client base?
And where is your client base?
Yeah.
You know, Twitter is a funny animal, changing rapidly. You know, it used to be kind of a given that if you had a big Twitter following, everyone would find you. Well, it's not so easy as it used to be to get a big Twitter following. Twitter has changed the rules. You can buy Twitter followers if you like. Sometimes that results in someone who has paid $1 to be your Twitter follower in Sri Lanka, and they're not your customer.
Right.
But the number's impressive. Twitter has become less reliable, and for that matter, Facebook has also become very specific. More and more people are using their personal Facebook pages for personal things, and it feels a little scammy to overpost business stuff on your personal page because your grandma doesn't want to know about that stuff.
I absolutely agree with you. You know, I'm a huge proponent of keeping your personal page personal on Facebook, and then keeping your business page, your company page on Facebook, very professional and related to your business. And those two things really should not meet. I think your business page is where you need to maintain that professional look and feel. And that goes for any social media site that allows you to have a personal profile and a company page, is that you want to keep your personal for your friends and family, and make that business page all about your business and keeping it very professional and above board.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I started 2 Twitter accounts because on my personal account, I like to post quirky articles that I read in the New York Times and silly cat videos. And it wasn't quite a great message to be putting on my business account, so I started a business account on Twitter. There's a notable exception to the personal rule on Facebook. Sometimes when people are life coaches, or they're doing relationship work, or it's very kind of personal stuff, there's a lot of crossover there. And I know a lot of life coaches, personal coaches, who have their personal page looks like a business page because that is their business, is sort of the business of life. And occasionally also, I know a lot of cinematographers and videographers, and if they say, hey, here I am with William Shatner, we were doing a segment with Bill, it's a crossover. So the rules can be broken, but for the most part, I find that the division is really important. It's just because of the changing nature of how Facebook has put itself out right now.
Sure, I absolutely agree. One of the things that we talked about briefly is blogging, and there is the saying that goes, content is king when it comes to your online presence. So, Lee, let's talk a little bit about that phrase, content is king on the internet, and what it means for business owners and entrepreneurs and how they can really leverage that.
Well, it's interesting. Some of it is context is king. And what I mean by that is, how do people find what they want on the Internet? It's driven by search terms. If you are a pet shop owner and you groom poodles, and in your keywords and searches and all the kind of back office stuff of your website, people put the keywords groom poodles, the likelihood of someone finding that is pretty good. They'll put that in groom poodles Palo Alto or whatever, and you'll end up there. But if you were to write a series of blogs about dog care, not only does it, when people search, if you put up the blog correctly in WordPress or whatever platform, and that's not difficult, people will find that blog, and then they get a lot of context about you, and they may even become loyalists. Because the key thing with any business is you want loyalists, you want repeat customers, and you want people actually seeking you out and going, that's pretty interesting. I'm coming back here. I'm going to call this person, whatever it might be. So the content is king argument for me has to do with building how the quality of person who finds you, the way people seek you out, and actually how long they spend on your site. You could put a search term like make money quick, and there's a lot of competition for that term, but you might get people popping into your site, taking a 45-second look and blowing away. Well, you don't really want that person. I mean, it's a number. You know, an SEO consultant, a search engine optimization consultant would say, hey, look, I got 5,000 people to come to your site. But if you drilled a little deeper, you'd say, yeah, but they were all there for 15 seconds and they didn't care. Oh, you know, that's not what you want. What you want is it could be a small number. It could be 200 people a day. It could be 50 people a day. But if those 50 or 200 people spent 5 minutes reading your article, which is an eternity in Internet time, and then they later become contacts or, you know, help you or become clients, that's the win. So it's, you know, content is king is not always about the numbers. You know, it's about the engagement. It's about connection. And you can do that, say, with blogs because there's a narrative. You know, we're narrative creatures.
Absolutely. And, you know, a great way to be able to find out how long people are spending on every single page of your website is to use another free Google tool. It's Google Analytics, and it provides you with amazing data about your website that is critically important for your knowledge as a business owner or entrepreneur. And to set that up, again, it's free, very easy to do. Go to google.com/analytics. That's google.com/analytics. You're listening to Punch Media and Marketing Made Easy on 1220 AM KDOW, the Wall Street Business Network. And when we come back from the break, we're going to wrap up our conversation with Lee Schneider about how to promote your business online. We'll be right back after the break.